Okay. Welcome to 2.2. Continuation of the 2.1. So, what we're talking about today is just solving basic inequalities. All right. Some words of advice before we do start into this, or some special notes. Make sure the variable is on the left. X in this case, or in some cases, the variable X is going to the left of the inequality sign. Okay, so make sure the variable X or A or whatever variable it is going towards the left at the inequality sign. This is going to help you make sure that you're going to be shading towards the right direction because your sign is pointing towards it. Okay, if you don't know what I mean, I would revisit the 2.1 notes just to understand that the inequality points the direction that you shade. Okay, so with that being said, let's start on A. So the very first thing that we do on any equation like this is that we want to make sure that we are combining our like terms. So 6x and 6x are going to be alike. Because they are on the same side of this inequality here, we're going to add them together like normal. So 6 plus 6 for us is going to be 12. So we have 12x plus 2 is going to be less than 14. Okay, now my x is on the left-hand side, so I don't want to do anything with it now. Instead, let's take care of this 2 that we're looking at right here. Okay, I'm going to minus the 2 from both sides. Cross out. 12x is going to be less than, well, 14 minus 2 is going to be 12. Okay, you want to divide off the 12 from both sides. And you're going to be getting x is less than 1, right? That's going to be the first part of your answer is x is less than 1. Next thing that we have to do is probably go over to the number line. Okay, so doesn't matter where you put it, doesn't matter where you put the 1. I'm going to put the 1 right here in the middle. Okay, it is an inequality, so it's just less than. It doesn't have a less than or equal to, so no bar underneath it. It's going to be an open circle at 1, and we're going to be shading towards the left-hand side of that equation. Okay, so if you guys can't remember from last time, remember there is an infinity on each of these endpoints. Okay, so we're going to throw up parentheses around each side and say, well, not that side. Right here is where we want it to be. So when we have our interval notation written down, interval notation written down, we can say that it's going to be from negative infinity, because that's our left side, all the way to 1. Okay, and that's your second answer. Okay, and that's how we're going to solve every single one of these. Get your variable towards the left-hand side of your equation. Okay. Combine your like terms, do all of the basic stuff, but make sure your variables, or x in this case, is on the left-hand side of that line. All right, shade out your line. Make sure you put parentheses on the endpoint or wherever the infinities are. And if it's an open circle, you're going to throw an infinity as well. Then you're just going to write down, you're just going to take the information that you have from the number line and you're going to write it in an interval. That's all you're going to do. Okay, so let's go to B. Now, first thing I notice is that we have parentheses here. We immediately want to take care of that, right? So how do we take care of that? Well, we distribute through. So we end up with negative 3 minus 24, because 6 times 4 is 24, x minus 36 greater than negative 111. Okay? So we're going to put a line right through the middle so we can keep everything up lined up. All right? Do we have any like terms? Absolutely. The negative 3 and the negative 36 are on the same side of this blue line. Okay? So we're going to want to combine those. So negative 3 plus a negative 36 is going to be negative 39. So I'm going to rewrite it as a negative 24x minus 39 is greater than negative 111. My next thing is to make sure that I have my x on this left side, which it is. Let's move all the numbers to the right side now. Add 39. Add 39. 39s are gone. you end up with negative 24x is still greater than, well, negative 111 plus 39 in this case should be, I want to say 72, negative 72. Let me just check real fast. Negative 72 is it. Okay, I was right. By the way. So, next thing that we would do is obviously divide. Here is a rule that I need you guys to make sure you understand. Okay? If you are dividing by a negative number, and I'm going to kind of circle what I mean, dividing by a negative number. If the number on the bottom of your division process or your division work, see where I circled the red, is negative, you must do something. It's called flipping the sign. Now, the division works the exact same way. The negative 24s will cancel out for us. But we end up with x, and as you guys can see here, our inequality is facing, well, it's open towards the left-hand side. It needs to flip when we divide by a negative, or multiply by a negative, technically, okay, on both sides of the equation, so that we end up with x is less than 3, all right? It's only ever when this number right here on the bottom is negative. I don't care about the negative 72. If this is negative, it doesn't mean that you have to flip the sign, okay? You only flip the sign when the bottom number of your division process is negative. Otherwise, you leave it alone, all right? So let's continue our work. X is less than 3, obviously, is one of our answers. Go 3 in the middle. It's an open circle again towards the left-hand side. Okay, I'll pop a negative infinity over here. That's going to be parentheses. This is parentheses as well. So when we have our interval notation written out, we should have parentheses, negative infinity, comma, 3. Those are your two answers right there. All right. Okay, next process that we're going to be doing here, same idea again, all right? You're going to be distributing through, get rid of those parentheses very first. 30 plus 15x plus 7 greater than or equal to 127. Combine your like terms, which are 30 and 7. You should end up with 15x plus 30 plus 7, 37, greater than or equal to 127. For those of you guys that are having a hard time with the combined like terms, 30 plus 7 is 37, okay? Make sure I have that blue line so some of you guys can see it as well. Okay. Next, we're probably going to get our 37 off this side, minus 37, minus 37. 37's out. You get 15x greater than or equal to, should be 90, I want to say. Okay. Next, you would obviously divide, but as you can see here, what am I dividing by? A positive 15. So you're not going to flip the sign in this case. You just leave it alone. The 15s cancel. X is greater than or equal to 6 is going to be our answer. 9 divided by 15 being 6. Okay? Go to your number line, just like last time, right? Slap a 6 here. Circle. There is, as you guys can kind of see here, a line underneath it, or our inequality has an equal sign, so it's greater than or equal to. So we need to fill this circle, or this dot, okay? And it's going to be going towards the right-hand side of our equation, or of our number line, okay? So, if you guys remember from last time, it's a filled dot, it's a bracket, it's and then on the infinities, or on the very end point here, it's always going to be a parenthesis. So, our interval notation for this one is bracket 6, comma, infinity. There you go. All right, moving on. Those good answers. Okay, so what do you guys notice about this one? First thing I notice is this. A at A. What side of that line is it on? It's on the right-hand side. we don't want it to be on the right-hand side of it. That's a no-go, okay? So let's change that up, all right? First step is going to be getting all of our a's to this side. So let's do what we normally would do. You're going to minus your 8a from both sides. Let me throw that line again. All right, minus 8a, minus 8a. 8a's are out. A minus 8a, or 1 minus 8, is negative 7. A minus 6, less than or equal to 15. Okay? You're going to add 6 next to both sides. 6's are out. Negative 7a, less than or equal to 21. What are we going to do with the negative 7? Divide it off, but just like we had last time, right? Is the 21 negative? No. But that doesn't matter because the negative 7 on the bottom is what we care about. Is it a negative? Absolutely. So we are going to cancel out, have a, but it's not going to be less than or equal to. It's now greater than or equal to a negative 3. And that right there is our first answer. That's our inequality. Okay? Next thing that we're going to do, go to the number line just like last time. Negative 3, doesn't matter where I put it. Open or closed. Well, it looks like we have an equal sign here. So fill in the dot, going towards, it looks like, the right-hand side because the inequality is pointing that direction. Okay, infinity on here. Bracket it, parenthesis. So our interval notation is negative 3, comma, infinity. Those are your two answers right there. Or 3 answers, I should say, with the number line. Okay? I see a problem like this. Immediate reaction should be, let's get rid of those parentheses. So, also, I should probably, again, put that line. Okay. If I put the parentheses there, we'll end up with 28 minus k greater than or equal to 7k minus 28. All right. What's the next thing that's wrong? 7k needs to be on the left-hand side. We don't want our k's over on the right side. So I'm going to subtract the 7k here. Seven k's are out. 28 minus, it's a negative 1, right? So we'll end up with negative 8k greater than or equal to negative 28. Subtract the 28. Don't make the mistake of thinking that's 0. Negative 28 minus 28 is not 0. Okay, 28's out. Negative 8k is greater than or equal to negative 28 minus negative 28 is negative 56. What are we doing this time? Once again, we are dividing by a negative 8. Well, not specifically by a negative 8, but a negative, okay? When we divide by a negative, or the number on the bottom of our equation, meaning the negative or on the division is the negative, then you are going to divide it, or flip the inequality. So k is less than, so bad k. K is less than or equal to 7. Go to your number line. Have a 7 here. Close circle because it's an equal to. So it's k is less than or equal to because of this line underneath it. Shading towards the left. Negative infinity, it seems. So parenthesis on the infinity is always, if it's a closed dot, it's a bracket. Your interval notation in this case should be parenthesis, negative infinity, comma, 7. There you go. Answer 1, 2, and 3. Next thing I would do, next we're going to do F, I should say. Take care of your parentheses, like normal. If you like having the line, that's great. In this case, it's going to be kind of screwy a little bit because of I'll see, it doesn't even want to snap for me. It's going to be screwed because the number line's in a little bit in the way. But we'll wait. We'll make do. So we'll have 3p minus 9 minus 5p greater than negative 3p minus 6. Throw the line right through there. Okay. So combine your terms. 3p plus a negative 5 is going to give you negative 2p minus 9 greater than negative 3p minus 6, right? Our p on this right side, this negative 3p that we're seeing right here, needs to go to the left-hand side, correct? So we're going to add it. Both sides, 3p's out. Negative 2 plus 3 is going to give you a positive 1p. I'm just going to write p minus 9 greater than negative 6. Add your 9. Add your 9. P is greater than 3. And that's going to be your answer. Okay? Go here. 3. Doesn't matter where you put it. I kind of had it a little bit off center, but this time that's not a big deal. Open circle, since it's not equal to, you're going right because it's pointing towards the right-hand side. Okay? Infinity on this side, a positive infinity. It's an open circle, so your parenthesis and parenthesis. So your interval notation in this case is going to be 3, comma, infinity. All right. Now I'll take a zoom out so you guys can kind of see what we did. All right, pause the video here. Pause the video here if you guys need to write anything down quickly. Okay, look through the answers, make sure you did everything right. If you have any questions about this, again, feel free to ask your teacher. If you have me or Miss Murdoch or Mrs. Allred. Okay, all right. Good luck with it.